We live in a world obsessed with approval, likes, praise, being seen the right way, but at what cost? When did our self-worth start depending on who clapped? From childhood, we are conditioned to equate approval with love, acceptance, and safety. This early conditioning deeply embeds the notion that approval is synonymous with worth. As we grow, every clap, every nod, and every like feeds into this belief, reinforcing a cycle where external validation becomes a measure of our self-esteem. In society, particularly through social media, this quest for validation is not just common, it's rewarded. Platforms are designed to make us crave likes and shares, pushing us to present only the aspects of ourselves that we think will earn the most approval. This isn't just about fitting in. It's about survival in a digital age where being liked is linked to visibility and success. The fear of rejection plays a significant role here. It's not just about not being liked, it's about not belonging. For many, the lack of likes or engagement can feel like a direct reflection of their value in society. The underlying fear is profound. If we are not validated by others, do we even matter? This fear drives us to conform, to perform, and to mask our true selves. But what is the true cost of this incessant need for approval? As we tailor ourselves to meet external expectations, we begin to lose touch with who we truly are. The pressure to maintain a persona that is constantly liked and approved can be exhausting. It's like living in a house where the walls are mirrors. You see reflections everywhere, but none truly represent you. You're never really alone with your thoughts because you're constantly performing for an invisible audience that's always judging, always watching. This performance is not sustainable. It drains us emotionally and mentally, leaving us tired and disconnected from our authentic selves. As we chase after validation, our true passions and desires get sidelined. We become actors in our own lives, playing parts that we think others will applaud but that leave us feeling empty inside. The question then arises, how do we break free from this cycle of seeking validation? How do we reclaim our lives from the clutches of societal approval and start living for ourselves? Awareness is the first step. We must become conscious of the moments we change our behavior just to fit in or to be liked. It's about catching ourselves in the act of performing and asking, is this really me? Or am I doing this because I want to, or because I think it is expected of me? By recognizing these patterns, we can begin to dismantle them. We can start to challenge the norms that dictate that approval is necessary for worth. In the next parts, we'll explore how to further free ourselves from the need for external validation, how to cultivate an inner compass that guides us, and how to build a life based on authenticity, not approval. To free ourselves from the need for external validation, we must first understand its roots. Our craving for validation isn't just about wanting to be liked, it's about seeking a sense of security and belonging. This need stems from our basic human instincts for connection and acceptance within our communities. However, when these desires are channeled through the skewed lens of social media and societal expectations, they distort our self-image and priorities. Reclaiming our inner compass involves a deliberate shift from seeking external approval to nurturing self-approval. This shift starts by asking ourselves key introspective questions. If no one was watching, what would I still choose to do? This question is powerful because it strips away the noise of societal expectations and focuses on our genuine interests and passions. Limiting social comparison is another critical step in this process. Social media platforms, with their curated feeds and highlight reels, can make us feel inadequate and drive us to constant comparison. Taking regular breaks from social media, or changing how we interact with these platforms can significantly reduce feelings of envy and inadequacy. By choosing to observe rather than absorb, we protect our mental health and foster a healthier relationship with our online worlds. Practicing radical self-approval is about learning to give ourselves the praise we often seek from others. It means celebrating our accomplishments, no matter how small, and acknowledging our efforts without waiting for someone else to notice them. This practice helps to build self-esteem from within, making us less dependent on external validation. Surrounding ourselves with authenticity is also key. Choosing relationships and communities that value genuine connection over appearances can reinforce our own values and encourage us to remain true to ourselves. When we spend time with people who appreciate us for who we are, not just for what we project, it becomes easier to maintain our authenticity. Through these actions, we begin to create an environment where we can thrive on our own terms. We start to live more authentically, aligning our actions with our true selves rather than with what we believe others want to see. This alignment brings a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness that external validation can never offer. It's about coming home to who we are, letting go of the persona that seeks constant validation and embracing the real, imperfect, unique individuals we are. This doesn't mean we won't ever crave recognition or feedback, but rather that our self-worth isn't solely dependent on it. As we reduce our reliance on external validation, we find that our choices become more intentional and our lives more meaningful. We are driven by our values and desires, not by an incessant need to be validated by others. This empowerment allows us to take risks, embrace new opportunities, and express ourselves more freely and creatively. The hidden cost of chasing approval runs deep, impacting our sense of self and emotional well-being. When our identity is tethered to the fluctuating opinions of others, our self-esteem can become just as volatile. We need to recognize that this incessant quest for external validation not only diverts us from our authentic paths but also leaves us emotionally dependent and exhausted. Living in a state where our walls are like mirrors reflects a life where personal boundaries are blurred. Constantly adjusting our actions and personas to fit into what we believe others expect of us can lead us to lose touch with our genuine selves. It's like being an actor in your own life, where the script is written by the audience's reactions rather than your own desires and values. The exhaustion that comes from this continuous performance is palpable. We wear many masks, switching them based on the crowd, the trend, or the feedback loop of social media. This performance is not only tiring, it's unsustainable. Over time, living for external validation can lead to burnout, where even simple decisions become taxing, because they are not aligned with our true selves but are performances meant to garner applause. Emotional dependence on others' opinions makes us vulnerable to their whims and criticisms. When our confidence depends on positive feedback, any negative comment can feel devastating. We must learn to detach our self-worth from the views of others and anchor it within ourselves. It's like living in a house where the walls are mirrors. You're never really alone, but you're never really yourself either. To break free from this cycle, awareness is indeed the first step. It requires vigilance to catch ourselves in moments where we modify our behavior just to be liked or approved. We must start questioning our motives and considering whether our actions are authentic to our true selves or performed for the sake of an audience. Reclaiming your inner compass involves deep introspection and sometimes solitude. It's about asking, if no one was watching, what would I still do? This question helps peel away the layers of conditioned behavior and allows us to reach the core of our personal values and interests. Limiting social comparison is crucial. It's vital to recognize that much of social media is a constructed reality, a highlight reel. By reducing exposure to these platforms, or at least changing how we interact with them, we can decrease the pressure to conform to unrealistic standards. Practicing radical self-approval involves shifting the source of validation from external to internal. This means becoming your own cheerleader, acknowledging your accomplishments and finding satisfaction in your progress, regardless of public recognition. It's about validating your feelings, your choices, and your life path without needing someone else to tell you it's okay. Surrounding yourself with authenticity also means cultivating relationships that are based on mutual respect and genuine connection, not just superficial affirmations. Choose friends and companions who value realness over appearance, depth over popularity. By making these shifts, you start to experience a profound sense of liberation. You no longer feel compelled to chase after approval because your self-worth is no longer up for public debate. This newfound freedom allows you to live more fully, embrace your imperfections, and enjoy a life that's true to who you are. Embracing your authentic self is an empowering journey that leads to a profound sense of freedom and self-acceptance. As you learn to detach your self-worth from the applause and approval of others, you begin to appreciate your intrinsic value. This shift allows you to engage with the world more authentically, making choices that align with your true self, not just those that seek to impress or appease others. You don't need the world's applause to be worthy. You never did. Living authentically means letting go of the facade that seeks validation and instead, cultivating a life that resonates with your deepest values and desires. It involves making decisions that might not always win approval, but feel right to you. This can mean pursuing a passion that doesn't conform to societal expectations, embracing parts of yourself that you've previously hidden, or simply saying no to things that don't align with your path. The liberation that comes from this authenticity is profound. Instead of performing to an unseen audience, you live for your audience of one, yourself. This doesn't mean you disregard the feelings or opinions of others, but you weigh them against your internal compass. Your decisions start to be guided by a deeper understanding of who you are and what you truly want, not by fear of criticism or rejection. To maintain this mindset, practice regular self-reflection. Reflect on your actions and decisions. Are they true to who you are? This practice helps reinforce your commitment to authenticity and keeps you grounded in your values. It's also helpful to continue practices that reduce your reliance on external validation, such as taking social media breaks and engaging in activities that you enjoy, regardless of their external shareability. Radical self-approval is a daily exercise. Congratulate yourself for small victories, forgive yourself for mistakes, and remind yourself of your worth often. This builds a resilient sense of self that external circumstances cannot easily shake. Cultivating gratitude for who you are and what you have accomplished without external validation reinforces your ability to appreciate yourself independently of others. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage your true self. Authentic relationships are those where you can be transparent about your feelings and aspirations without fear of judgment. These relationships, based on truth rather than appearances, provide a supportive network that reinforces your journey towards living authentically. Finally, remember that letting go of control over how you are perceived allows you to connect more deeply with others and yourself. It opens up opportunities for genuine interactions and relationships unmarred by pretense. Embracing who you truly are and allowing others to see this person builds connections that are based on real mutual understanding and respect. As we conclude, take a moment today to do something that is utterly and unapologetically you. No filters, no performance, just a pure expression of your authentic self. Let go of who you think they want you to be. Come home to who you are. And remember, the journey to authenticity isn't about reaching a destination where you are perfect. It's about continuously striving to align your external life with your internal truth. This ongoing process is not only liberating, but also deeply rewarding.